Drivers of the greenhouse gas emissions. It's always a good idea to see what drives the phenomena we are dealing with. We will check the drivers of greenhouse emissions and how they behave in time. So the first driver is the number of people in the world. The more people we have, the more food, houses, and goods we need for them. As we have seen, this will impact greenhouse gas emissions. The second driver will measure the economic activity per one person. We will use for that the gross domestic product per capita. This metric will show how many goods we created measured in dollars per person. Due to this driver, we can have a gradual increase in the emissions of greenhouse gases, even if the population does not change. This is caused by the higher production of goods in a specific country. The last driver measures how much greenhouse gas we create per $1 of gross domestic product. This metric, in a sense, measures the efficiency of the economy when it comes to greenhouse gases. Now let's see how those drivers have behaved in the last few decades, and how this has impacted global emissions. Not surprisingly, the global population has been going steadily up. In 1990, we have just crossed the threshold of 5 billion people. By 2020, we got close to 8 billion, and most likely by 2050, we will have almost 10 billion people. In fact, this metric has been going up for most of the last 2,000 years. A similar trend we can see when it comes to the second metric, the gross domestic product per capita. In 1990, one person, on average, was creating a little bit above $4,000. In 2020, we have almost managed to reach 11,000. And if the trends continue by 2050, an average person will produce $32,000 of gross domestic product. So far, the two metrics that we have discussed are just going up, which does not help us deal with greenhouse gas emissions. That's why the third metric, measuring efficiency, is so important. Luckily, the greenhouse gas emissions per $1 have been going down. In 1990, to produce $1 of the gross domestic product, we would emit 1.4 kilograms of carbon dioxide. In 2020, this metric was 3 times smaller. Using the current trend, we have a chance of reaching only 200 grams of carbon dioxide per $1 in 2050. Now let's see whether the progress is sufficient to reach the goal of zero carbon emissions in 2050. The answer is unfortunately no. Given how many people will be living in the world, the forecasted gross domestic product, and the greenhouse gas emissions per $1, in 2050, we will generate more than 67 billion tons of carbon dioxide. To sum up, out of the 3 drivers, only one is going down. We have obviously in mind the greenhouse gas emissions per $1. However, the speed of change is not sufficient. You cannot really lower the other 2 drivers. So far, only China has been successful in limiting the growth of the population, and this has not been replicated for obvious reasons by other countries. When it comes to gross domestic product per one person, this is the goal of almost every economy. A higher level of gross domestic product usually means a higher level of life. That's why, in the rest of the course, we will look deeper into improving the efficiency of the economy when it comes to the production of greenhouse gases,